pull out a 11-point victory over the Detroit Pistons, a team that beat them earlier in the season by double-digit points as well. This game was led by DeMar DeRozan with 29 points in this game. Nikola Vucevic following him with 21 points. We're going to talk about it, break it all down, what went into the win, and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
I see red, I see red, I see red, I see red, yeah, I see red, I see red, I see red, I see.
What's going on, Bulls fans? I'm glad to be back to talk about a Bulls dub. This was a game in which the bench did a lot of the heavy lifting in this game. When you look from Andre Drummond, 11 points, 13 rebounds, and only 15 minutes worth of work. Ayo Dosunmu as well, stepping in, playing more minutes with Alex Caruso being out. He scores 13 points, has the highest plus minus on the team with plus 19. He goes 6 of 7 from the field, chipping in 13 points, 3 assists, 4 steals as well. And that's really the story of the game. We're going to talk about the starters as well, but the Chicago Bulls specifically, with their points off turnovers in this game, really making the difference in this game big time for the Chicago Bulls. They lost the rebounding battle by 9, that's 40-49. But then when you look at the turnover battle, the Chicago Bulls limited themselves to only 6 turnovers in this game compared to 16 for the Detroit Pistons. The Bulls had 25 points off turnover to the Detroit Pistons, only 9 points off turnovers. That was a big thing for the Chicago Bulls. When we look at points in the paint, 52 points in the paint for the Chicago Bulls to 46 for the Detroit Pistons. We did lose the second chance battle in this one. We won the fast break battle as well with 16 points. And this was a game really of two halves for the Bulls. The Bulls shooting the ball overall 48% from the field in this game overall and 36% from three-point range. But when you look at specifically the second half of this game, the Bulls shot almost 60% from the field in the second half of this game. And that was the major difference in this game. The Bulls shooting 59% from the field, whereas the Detroit Pistons in the second half shot 47%. The Bulls also shot 41% from three, going 5 of 12 from the three-point line in the second half of this game. And like I said, tell it two halves for the Chicago Bulls team. They lost the first quarter 31-22, came back, won the fourth quarter 35-27, and the second quarter 33-19. They lost that third quarter 31-29, so not much of a discrepancy there, but good to see the Bulls be able to come back in the second half and just perform much better in the second half than what they did in the first half of this game. DeMar DeRozan was DeMarvelous yet again. We really haven't seen much of DeMar really kind of putting the team on his back as he did in the second half of this game. And it was a balanced attack. Zach LaVine also had a big third quarter as well. He goes 3 of 6 from the field for 6 points, but Kobe White having 8 points in the third quarter overall. But when you look at the point breakdown for the Bulls, DeMar DeRozan with 29 points, Nikola Vucevic with 21 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals from Nikola Vucevic. Also, DeMar DeRozan chipped in 4 blocks in this game. I don't know when's the last time you saw that number of blocks from DeMar DeRozan. Zach LaVine goes 6 of 14 from the field, 6 of 6 from the free throw line. He chips in 19 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. Kobe White continually improving his play as well. 7 assists from him as the starting point guard, 1 steal, and 16 points. This is a game that every starter in this game had a positive plus minus. Was the first time in a while that that's happened for the Chicago Bulls as well. And so, listen, again, tell it two halves for the Bulls. Love the way the Bulls came in and executed in the second half of this game. It was something that we haven't really seen a lot from this team, as well as winning the third quarter. We haven't really won a lot of third quarters in this on the season so far. The Bulls now move to 4-6. 2 games below 500. They go out to Milwaukee tomorrow. Then they come back with 2 games against the, I think it's the Orlando Magic, then 2 games against the Miami Heat. One of the two of those. I may be having that flip-flop. But so listen, the Bulls still have a lot of games at home. They're going to be tough games as well. The game against Milwaukee, that's going to be, a big game for the Bulls as well. Come back, 2 games against Orlando, 2 games against the Miami Heat to end the week on Saturday and to begin the week also on Monday against the Miami Heat. So listen, the Bulls, over the next 5 games, we could be talking about a Bulls team that is at 500, depending on how they're able to handle specifically the games they have at home. So, we'll see what that ends up actually being for the Chicago Bulls. But at least so far in this game tonight, love the way the Bulls played, love the way that they executed, love the way that they pulled out a tough victory as well against a team that beat them earlier. And really, towards the end of that game, it wasn't really a question who was going to win that game. We haven't really seen that a lot from the Bulls either. I'm going to start off with the super chats we got so far. This first one's from the General Brandon L. Jet. Thank you for supporting the channel, my brother. He says, keys to the game. DeMar with 4 blocks, Io with 4 steals, Drummond Vooch with double doubles. DeMar said, I'm not washed up yet with 29 points and control the tempo. Great point from Brandon L. Jet on that. We got Bathor Payne says, we might mess around and be 500 soon by 2024. Shout out to Bathor Payne on that one. Thank you guys for supporting the channel as well. But let's go ahead and get into the other comments in the building today. Alex Larez in the building says, great team win, but Zach looked lost on defense per usual. Shouldn't really be a surprise. Shouldn't really be a surprise with that. Length as well really bothers Zach LaVine. Shout out to that. But it is what it is there. Spike Boy 195 says, we got the win. That's all that matters, right? Especially at this point in the season. Don't know if this is a thing. Io and Drum playing well together. Listen, the bench unit in general is really finding a nice rhythm, is that Chicago Bulls bench unit. So it was really good to see Io step in, get more minutes with Alex Caruso out, and thrive in those minutes. Listen, Io DeSumo is quietly putting together a really solid bench season for the Chicago Bulls and reminding everyone what his strengths are in this league, right? I know a lot of people are ready to count Io DeSumo out after he, had the not really good stint being the starting point guard to start off last season, but he come into this season, he's shooting the ball well, 46% overall from the field. That's going to go up after this game as well. And he's shooting the ball 50% from 3-point range. So, Io DeSumo's really rounding out nicely and understanding what his role is on the Chicago Bulls bench unit. And I really like seeing that from him. Shay in the building says, I think DeMar DeRozan's career high in blocks. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. 4 blocks from somebody who started off their career playing 2 guard. That's a lot of blocks, man. Pat says, this is playmaking DeMar we talked about getting, and it's going well so far. When you get DeMar playing like this, right, and getting in rhythm, that's a big thing for DeMar. So, only 1 assist from DeMar on the night, so that's what it is with there. But we needed his scoring tonight, and so he stepped in and gave us that for sure. Shay says, wow, we actually shut down Cunningham. I told you in the pregame show, Shay, that we had the defenders to throw at Cunningham. And here's the thing. I think people forget as well, their rookie years, Io DeSumo gave Cade Cunningham the business. So, listen, don't be too surprised on that one. So we'll see what comes of that. We got Melvin in the building. He says, I was concerned with Billy Donovan as usual. Takes out the hot man early when Drummond was cooking in the 4th. But thank God Vooch stepped up that 4th quarter. But Billy has to stop doing that. Well, listen, if it works, it works, right? And Vooch stepped in and did extremely well in this game. So love to see that one. OTR says, beep, beep. Don't even know what that means. Don't know who you're telling to pull over the Jeep, but hey, it is what it is. Pat the Designer said it earlier today. Patrick Williams attacking the basket is what we need to see, even if he doesn't make the shot. Yeah. You want to see Patrick Williams be aggressive, right? Overall, you want to see Patrick Williams be aggressive. And if Patrick Williams is being aggressive, you think that mindset is going to improve. And if that does, he's going to start getting better and shots and playing well. And so, in this game, he didn't really do a whole hell of a lot that showed up on the stat sheet, but I did like the energy he played with as well in this game. 1 steal, 1 block from him, only 4 points. But again, you kind of got to watch the game as well to kind of really understand how well Patrick Williams played with the energy and trying to get to the rim. He got to the rim a couple of times, wasn't able to convert, but like to see that from Patrick Williams. DeMar getting 4 blocks is amazing for my agenda pushing. What agenda are you pushing, Depot World? What agenda, bro? Let us know. You have to give Nikola Vucevic a lot of credit tonight on the defensive end. Vooch stepped up much better in the second half overall. Like, when you look at the first half for Nikola Vucevic in this game, he was 3 of 9 from the field. He only scored 7 points. He did have 9 rebounds, right? 2 assists. But then when you look in the second half of this game for Nikola Vucevic, Vooch went 5 of 8 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3-point range. He chipped in 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal, and 1 block shot as well in the second half of this game, scoring 14 points. So, yeah, Nikola Vucevic, as much with the team, played a much better second half in this game than first half, and it was good to see Vooch really, come out of that as well. And the team be able to identify and get him the ball, too. Robert says 2 of 3 played really well. Zach was good enough this game. Io, great game off the bench. Yep, absolutely. Shitty says, shitty, not shitty. There you go. DeMar having 4 blocks is insane. Yeah, it's really crazy from DeMar. So let's see what else we got. Abdallah says Zach can't shoot a ball anymore. Doesn't attack the rim. He's dog shit. No, that's not true. Zach can shoot the ball. He's had pretty good nights of shooting, but overall, we're seeing lack of shooting from the team overall so far. Zach is still doing some other things. A player that scored 19 points in the game and hit some big shots as well, and got to the free throw line 6 times isn't dog shit. He's also averaging 22 points per game on 42% shooting. He is 14th in the league, I think, in something in true shooting percentage right now. I may be wrong on that. We may have dropped down some, but Zach LaVine is playing okay. Not to the level of his contract, but he's definitely not dog shit at all either. Like I said in the pregame, we needed to play with a dog mentality and offensive consistency, and they secured the win. Let's see red. Listen, this team played really so much better in the second half of this game. Debo says, I think we can beat Miami twice. Listen, I think we can beat Orlando and Miami twice, but it comes down to execution, right? Especially when you face two teams in back-to-back games, right? They're not on back-to-back nights. With the Miami Heat, you have a coach like Eric Spoelstra, who's really going to come into that second game, win or lose, with a much better plan, and you trust him to improve that. So you got to look out for that, especially. So, we'll see. But the Miami Heat aren't like this unbeatable team at all. And I think the Bulls can compete well with them. And the Orlando Magic, we already know that's a team that's given the Bulls some trouble, some fits over the last few years. Wendell Carter is going to be out in those games. I believe he's already ruled out. He won't be returning. So we'll see what's going to happen. Albert Delgado says, like your threads, hey, Sharp, appreciate that. Listen, I try to do what I can do when I can do it. Haize, how many games do they need to win on this home stretch to hit 500? Where 500 means you've won and lost the same amount of games. So the Bulls right now are 2 games below 500. They have 1 game out against the Milwaukee Bucks. They got 4 games in a row at home at that. So let's just say they lose against the Milwaukee Bucks. That will put the Bulls at what's the record right now? It's 4-6 that the Bulls are right now. So that will put the Bulls at 4-7, meaning that they would have to win. There's no way to finish right at 500 with an odd number of games, but the Bulls would have to win at least 3 of those next 4 to be close to 500. So let's hope that they can do that, if not win more than that. So Chris Carvinio says, yo, Io has been sneaky good this season. Yeah, he has. Io and some players just thrive off the bench, and I think Io's able to do the things that are the strengths for his game coming off the bench, and he doesn't have to try to fit in a role of being the point guard. He's just out there being a guard, and he's playing a lot on the wing too. And so when he's playing with that unit that also is a really good defensive unit, moves the ball around, he's able to do more things to his strengths and get downhill. Those are definitely things with that. So good job to secure the dub in that last stretch. We've been struggling with that. Exactly. The Bulls team has absolutely been struggling to keep and hold on to lead. So it was good to see them being able to do that after they went down to an early deficit, but they fought back and held on to it. Man, Haize, Bulls Fincher unmatched. Keep doing your thing, man. OG Rick from Cali. Glad to see you in the building, Rick. We appreciate you, brother. Vincius says, good to see P. Will's aggressiveness tonight. Also, yes, definitely good to see P. Will be aggressive. You would hope that, with aggression, eventually those shots are going to start falling for him. Doesn't necessarily guarantee it, but at least that's what you hope, right? You want to see him definitely keep playing with that aggression level. So, Kevin Knox. Yes, Kevin Knox can shoot the ball. So, blow this shit up. Keep the Vooch Barber, though. That is hilarious. Listen, I know that a lot of people saying that. I don't think a blow up's coming. Can't believe how wrong I was about Paul, shaking my damn head. I mean, listen, let's not count it out quite yet, right? We'll see. He's going to get another contract here. We'll see what that ends up turning into. Beep beep is what Stacey King says when the Bulls win. Oh, that's funny. It's corny though. Let's see. Christopher says, still not satisfied. We need to beat the Bucks tomorrow. You shouldn't be satisfied. The team is still below 500, right? There's nothing to be satisfied as far as overall in the season. You can definitely take away positives from this win, but that doesn't change everything that we've seen this season and the concerns that we've seen from this team, right? We need to see it sustained and see what they do with it over a long period of time. Young Black Wall Street says, whoever said DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine is the problem, something's wrong with you. These 2 guys are the heart and soul of the Chicago Bulls. Bow down to one that's greater than down payback time. Well, listen, the person that said that, I get what they were trying to get at. I don't think they said it as eloquently as maybe that everyone will understand it, but I get what they were getting at on that voicemail. But yeah, they're definitely not the problem overall. Now their fit together may be a huge part of the problem, but we'll talk about that another day. Chef Key C says, Haize, why can't every game be like this? Playing a team, missing 3 or 4 rotational players. Hey, listen, if we could only get so lucky. But here's what I'll say. Like, I'm not one of those people who I want to see the Bulls just keep playing easy games, right? I'm not that. I want to see us tested. And so we got a huge test against the Milwaukee Bucks tomorrow. Let's see what the Bulls can do. DMG says, it's crazy how people really gave up on Io when he was going through his sophomore slump. Now Io looking like a really solid player. Listen, Io DeSumo was a player that was forced into a position that wasn't necessarily the best position for him, and especially not in that starting lineup. Io is not a true point guard, but he can do some point guard things. But what Io now is like he's just playing the game to his strengths, and he also understands how he can impact the game, and he's able to do that a lot more at this position that he's playing now. Melvin says, not sure if it's just one game, but if Kevin Knox will eventually be waived, I would consider him a roster spot for the time being. Or maybe it's just the Bulls. He goes off in just one of those games. Listen, the Bulls do give up big nights against role players. That's part of our culture here lately. So I'm not worried about signing Kevin Knox right now. I'm worried about this team improving what they need to improve on. I'll say it again. DeMar and Zach are second options on the championship team. We have to understand it. Yeah, I think everybody understands that. But we do know as well that the Bulls aren't a championship team. They're not even sniffing being a championship team. So I really don't understand what you get by pointing that out. We all know that, right? I don't know if it's really going to matter against the Bucks, but I'm thankful it didn't go into OT. Hey, I mean, I can understand where you're coming from on that. You want as fresh legs as possible, right? Facing against the Milwaukee Bucks. Am I the only one thinking Zach played bad tonight? He didn't play great, but he didn't play terrible either. Like, let's be clear that he didn't play absolute. We've seen much worse games from Zach LaVine. Hey, Haize, I didn't get to watch this game due to the family issues. How we do? All right, listen, keep watching the live stream. That's what we're here for. They did pretty damn good. If the starters can stay even slightly above the other team, then our bench should be able to come in and give us a double-digit lead because they usually climbing us out of a hole. I mean, listen, and that goes back to kind of the things that we've pointed out in the last couple of daily episodes is that this core just ain't working together. It isn't. It just is not working together. So, to the level, let me say this, to the level that we needed to be able to do more than what we've been doing. So we'll see. Let's talk about how Kobe is becoming a better playmaker. Well, we started seeing that last season for Kobe, right? Kobe started growing in that last season. His decision-making on passes, his passing ability overall, right? Those things were getting better last year. And now we're starting to see it slowly get even better now. And that's why, for the people that were ready to jump down Kobe's White's throat and say, hey, let's get him out of there. Let's start a different player at point guard. You got to realize he's adapting to a completely different role than what he's had prior. But so far for the month of November, Kobe White's averaging right now 13 points per game on 43% shooting, 31% shooting from three. We need that to tighten up. He's averaging 5 assists, 3.2 rebounds, 1.5 steals per game, and only fouling once per game as well with 2 turnovers. Kobe White is starting to figure it out. And that's why you're not going to see Billy Donovan pull him because unlike Patrick Williams, who was kind of passive at times, passiveness isn't ever Kobe's problem. It's sometimes the decision-making and it's inconsistency, but you're not going to get a player to be inconsistent if you keep changing their role just when they hit a roadblock, right? You want Kobe to kind of learn to adapt to that, and that's what we're starting to see from Kobe White as well. Io's new contract looking pretty good right now. Oh, Io and Kobe's contract are looking like steals right now. Zach LaVine put up 51 points the first game against the Detroit Pistons. Whoever's talking crazy about my guy, shut up. Hey, that's funny. That's funny. Let's see. Got to beat Orlando simply because I don't want to hear those fans mouth Vooch worst season. Still better than Wendell's best. Let's let that trade go. I always say with this, the problem in the Vooch trade isn't the players. I trade Vooch for Wendell Carter all day, every day. It was the 2 first-round picks that we gave in that case, right? But, that kind of is what it is at this point. So Sydney says, how do you feel they'll play against the Bucks tomorrow? Listen, this is the Chicago Bulls, Sydney. I can't predict that. I hope that they come in and execute, but you never know. Ariel says, or is it Uriel, like the angel? Says Billy is doing a lot better with the rotations thus far. Loving the Pat Craig combo at the 4. Yeah, they're bringing similar but different things right at the same time. Like you understand how they're working together at that 4 position. The Lob Mob says when we have to keep hoping for the Bulls to play with dog mentality, tells you they don't really have it. You never had to demand this from Heinrich Dang, Noah Rose. Yeah, I mean we've established that. That is, they definitely don't have the mentality of those type of teams. Jose Sanchez says, hey, Haize, what's good? Much love all the way from PR. Listen, do you think that the starting point guard position is hurting Kobe? He seems to be putting too much pressure on himself and it's hurting his performance. I don't know where you're getting that. I think Kobe White is performing well. Like, he's going to go through growing pains, but they're called growing pains for a reason. We can't look to pull a player from the starting lineup just because they face some adversity. You want them to learn to go through that adversity. So, no, I think that Kobe White should stay in that starting point guard position, even though coming into the season, I wanted Javon Carter to be the starting point guard, but you bet on him as your starter. He deserves to hold on to that starting position until he either plays terribly, but he's progressing. Kobe White is progressing. There's no question about that. And so if he comes out on the other side of that, then it's worth going through those growing pains for sure. Bathor Payne says Zach absolutely should not hold the ball unless he's attacking or shooting. Anything longer than a couple of seconds, he's prone to do dumb shit. Hey, I have no arguments there for you, brother. None. Zach LaVine is, it's the Zach LaVine special. That's all we can say on that one. Let's see what else we got. Stacey King said you could have gotten Kevin Knox for a bag of Doritos. It probably would have been worth it. Yeah, listen, that line when Stacey King said that was hilarious. Malcolm Cherry says Zach played great defense on Cade. Kobe played well as a playmaker tonight. Vooks active on defense. DeMar sees Alex coming. Hope the defense travels. Let's hope so, man. Let's hope so. Hopefully Alex Caruso also plays tomorrow night because we're really going to need him. Bathor Payne back says if DeMar stops stepping into threes, he'll be better. He lacks the footwork and anticipation. I don't know if you're going to get him to stop stepping into those threes, though, but I'm glad that he's taking them. I'll say this right now. Javon came from the Bucks, and I bet he know what their game plan is, but my main concern is Dame if he start lighting up from 3, unless Zach goes off. Well, best believe they have a new coach with the Bucks, and they got a new starting point guard, so I don't think things are going to be the same. Keep in mind, they changed their coach, and they changed a lot with that team, so I don't think he's going to know the game plan. I don't think so. Do you know if Caruso will be back tomorrow? It was a game time decision today. You think they already made that decision for tomorrow? They haven't yet, Zachary. They haven't. But we'll be here to break it down, man. Bucks been bad at defense, but they lost 2 games. Giannis is going to come out tomorrow to win. Let's see how our defense stack up against Dame and Giannis. Yeah, listen, it's going to be a tough one for the Bulls. They are going to have to absolutely lock it up. Kashay Taylor, Miss Red's in the building, says DeRozan. What's going on, Miss Taylor? Glad to have you in the building as always when you grace us with your lovely presence. Kobe has improved so much as a ball handler and has done a great job at embracing his new role. He's a guy who I hope to keep for the foreseeable future as he improves every year on something. Yeah, definitely. Remember, Grayson Allen is no longer on the Milwaukee Bucks either. I don't know if that's what you're bringing up Grayson Allen for, but hey. DMG in the building says, I'm starting to like Kobe as a starter, but would like to see Javon get more minutes with the mid-3, like you said. Yeah, like I said, I don't think we saw it in this game. We still have yet to see a lineup of Javon Carter and Torrey Craig with the mid-3 on the court all at the same time. But, it is what it is there. But, yeah, let's hope that listen, at the end of the day, if things are going to start working for the Bulls, you want to double down on what's working. And so let's see how it continues to evolve. And I'm sure Billy Donovan has a methodology behind his rotations, but we'll see what happens with that. By the way, everybody, make sure you guys, if you're not subscribed, a lot of people think they're subscribed because I drop so much content and they always see me in their feed, but hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers by the end of the season. So we got a little over 5,000 subscribers left to go. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. We appreciate you. But let's see what else we got. There's no guarantee Dame's playing yet. That's for sure as well on that one. I keep seeing everyone say Io thirsty. He's not thirsty. He's playing the game and bringing the dog mentality. Who said that Io was thirsty? I haven't seen that at all, Edwin. Like, I'm sorry that you're seeing that for people, but luckily, I guess God's blocking me because I haven't seen that at all. Because I definitely would cook somebody. Hearing mid three sounds goofy, but makes too much sense. I just say the core three, but mid three, that's definitely something. Let's see. Why not try to put both P. Will and Craig together and unleash the front court dogs? We've seen minutes of them together out there on the court together. We've seen that. That's not anything. You got to go back to the games. I think we even saw some in this game. Yeah, we saw it in the third quarter in this game. So you see Craig and P. Will be out there together a little stretches each game. So got it off. Be my bad, bro. Comments in here, my bad. Oh, you good, bro. You good. You good. So got it off BR. That's funny. 268 watching, 68 likes. Hit the like button. Hit the goddamn button. I got to get that sound clip on the soundboard, by the way. Caper in the building says they be drinking them Gatorade on the bench. So yeah, probably thirst. That's hilarious. Kobe makes a couple nasty highlights every game. Could be handles, step backs, fadeaways, though. Finishes dime, steals, charges. He's special to watch. League will have no choice but to take notice this year. Listen, Kobe White is improving. That's why I was even in the comment section with somebody, I think his name was Corey, today. Like, he was like, oh, well, Kobe White's terrible. I'm like, have you actually watched basketball? Like, in the last year for Kobe White's improved dramatically, right? Hey Haize, I remember when you first started this from just a few hundred to where you are now. I commend you, bro. Keep the content coming. Congratulations on the compliments. Jose, I really appreciate you, bro. I really appreciate you. Now, Mark, first of all, it's bad enough that you changed your username and removed your picture because you used to get cooked. Like, come on, man. Like, you're not fooling nobody. Just chill. Just chill, bro. I'm trying not to cook people this year. Asar Thompson had 16 rebounds. P. Will had donuts. Listen, I wish that Asar Thompson, that Patrick Williams had the mindset of Thompson. Because just look at the size that P. Will has. With the mindset and mentality that Thompson has, you're talking about a double-double every night. Like, Thompson is, I'll say this, like, he's a defensive dog. On top of that, he just understands everything. Like, the scoring, I think, is going to come around for him as well. When I scouted Thompson, both the Thompson twins, I was kind of low on like their overall ceiling as far as offensively. But I tell you what, I'm looking at Asur now, and I'm saying, hey, bro, this guy is going to have it. Like a two-way player. I'm not going to say he's going to be like a 20-point per game scorer or anything like that, but this guy definitely is going to be a solid two-way player because even with his offensive limitations, he still does not back down. Not back down. You know what, bro? Io reminds me of what I said Jimmy would be if he'd attack more. Not saying he's Jimmy, no question, just saying he's strong and athletic for his size. Definitely agree with you on that one. Definitely agree with you on that one. He said this year we're already. I meant this year as in the season, Cachet. The season. Dude, and for the people that saw, P. Will actually has a very fast top speed that he rarely goes at. Give him the Thompson attitude, and he's a bully. Bully ball would be incredible. Listen, I mean, we can keep saying woulda, coulda, shoulda with him, but it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate we don't see that more from him, but we'll see. Io has increased his court speed, but his mental speed of the game has slowed down dramatically. Listen, I don't even know if Io's court speed has improved rather than he's just able to move more now without the ball because there's other ball handlers with him and he's attacking more. But listen, whether the court speed improved or the situation just improved, Io DeSumo is reminding everybody of that potential that we saw his rookie year when people were saying that he had just as much potential with players drafted in the first round of that draft. Io DeSumo is in his bag right now, and you love to see it. Definitely love to see it. Hey, Haize, will you agree we need more size? We're having issues in the rebound department. No, I don't think it's a size issue. I think it's that the Bulls they don't fight for the rebounds like other teams. I don't think, like, of course, if you add size and they're an amazing rebounder, you will. But I think what we're seeing is that other teams team rebound. The Chicago Bulls, we still don't team rebound consistently. I think if we did that, that rebound discrepancy would be even less than what we're seeing consistently so far this season. Jason Hendricks says the Bulls play a good defense. They need to keep that up. Always when the Bulls playing a good defense, they have a good season and more. Well, listen, when the Bulls defense is on point, it makes an on point defense, right? Makes everything easier. It gets you easier buckets. It gets you out in transition. It gets you to be able to take advantage of the other team before their defense steps up. And that's why defense is so important, right? So, yeah, for sure. Hope he will use Kobe improvements in mind. Listen, we can keep at some point. It just got to be on P. Will to get on himself, right? We can keep saying all day another mentor for P. Will. That's what Torrey Craig was supposed to be. DeMar was already a mentor, like all this stuff. But at the end of the day, he has to want it, and until he does, it don't matter who else he looks at. He has to want it. How's Io's mental slow down, man? That kid is jealous. By slow down, he means the game slowed down to him, Edwin. He doesn't mean that Io's slow. He means that the game is slowed down for Io, so he's able to make quicker decisions because the game's slowing down for him. That's what he means, bro. He doesn't mean it in a negative connotation at all there. Edwin, calm down, brother. Calm down, man. Archangel says, plus P. Will has to do something crazy athletic periodically, confusing me further. That leap and spin block tonight, wow. Listen, Pat is athletic. He just doesn't do it consistently. That's it. He needs to do it consistently more often. Chef Key says, hate to say it, but give Billy D and his gum some credit tonight. They kept Drummond in when he was cooking. Listen, you gotta give him credit when it's due. So yeah, I definitely agree with that one. My bad, because I was like, whoa, my bad, fam. I like that kid. Oh, I feel you. I just understood what he meant on that one, man. Any chance we see Phillips in the G League? I answered that question. I don't know if you got to see it. I saw you leave a comment on that video. I don't know. I would hope so. They're not using him at the NBA level. Get him in the G League to get him some reps in at the bare minimum, right? Is it what you would hope? So let's hope that that's the case. We'll end up seeing, man. We'll see. What do you think of Debo and Drummond combo? I feel like when they play on the floor together, we're always productive. Yeah, I think it is. What have I been saying to you guys for a while? Vooch and DeMar like starting their offense from the same position, right? Vooch likes to start his offense from that elbow on a post and dive, right? Those type of things. DeMar likes to get his offense from that same elbow, pump fake, get his shot. So when you have a player like Drummond that's absolutely fine playing closer to the rim and giving that space to DeMar, and then if DeMar does miss it, gets that rebound, it builds in a nice chemistry there for sure. So, oh yeah, not only when the Bulls fans wanted James Harden, let me remind, I'll never forget there were Bulls fans who wanted Jordan Poole for Zach LaVine and Cat for Vooch. Two of those guys have been worse. Listen, Bulls fans always want something different. And then they would be the same ones that complain when they get that and then talk about how shitty the team is. It just is what it is. Joey Douchebag says, I love that name. The Bulls signed Torrey Craig and he shrinks to 6'5". No, he hasn't shrunk to 6'5". Torrey Craig's been out there playing well in his role. Like, his role is not to score. What did he have, like 7 rebounds today? Torrey Craig has been playing fine. You got to actually watch the game and not the stat sheet, because Torrey Craig helps the Bulls a lot. Like I said, he generates 3 extra possessions for the Chicago Bulls a game on average is what he's generating. That's in the top 10th percentile of the league. He's doing those type of things. Yeah, Torrey Craig actually had 10 rebounds today, 7 of those being defensive rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. Yes, he didn't shoot the ball well, but his defense, the rebounding, he's bringing a lot. So I don't know where you get that he's shrinking from. When the Bulls play that good defense, the Bulls opponents don't like it, and they get upset, so the Bulls have to mentally focus and play good defense and team ball. Well, listen, I don't know if they get upset. I just think that it makes it difficult. That's what defense does. Yeah, bro, you have any footage on Phillips or Bateem? Hell, even Sinago. I really like Sinago for his size. He may be a little weapon if one big go down. But so I released the first G League video today, so I did have highlights, or I talked about all of them. Phillips hasn't played down in the G League yet, so there's no footage for him. But team, I broke down what's going on with his game. Sanago's been one of the standouts, him and Henry Drell, but go and check out that video. Jet, if you can post a link to the Windy City Bulls video I dropped today in the chat so Edwin can find it. I appreciate you, brother. Honestly, I think wherever Debo signs next, he's probably going to be a six-man or like a leader for the bench unit or on a contender. I don't know if I see that from DeMar. Like, I get what you're coming at with that. Believe me, I get where you're coming at. I just don't know. I don't know if I see that with DeMar. Haize literally did a video today on the Windy City Bulls. He personally shouted out Sanogo. Yes, Sanogo. I always say Sanogo, but it's two O's. Yeah, listen, Sanogo is using his strength very well down there in the G League, and he's rebounding the ball well also, and his timing starting to get together. So, do you think people will satisfy coming off the bench? I mean, listen, he got to be. I don't care if he's satisfied or not. If you're not satisfied, play better. The bench is better than the bench mob of, oh, no. Reginald Short, I don't know if you're a prisoner of the moment. I don't know how old you were with the original bench mob. This team's bench is good. Do not get me wrong. But it's not sniffing the bench mob. There's a reason why they're called the bench mob. So I can't say on that one. Haize, I really can't understand why I always get cussed out by LeBron James fans when I say that LeBron James is not the player that he once was. Father Time is undefeated. I don't know why either. People just, I guess, want to be in now. LeBron James is not the same player he was before. He's just not, and that's fine. He's been able to do crazy things in his career. So listen. Kobe's hair is working for him. The fouls on him look way more dramatic. Man, there was a time where he was trying to get a foul, and the way that hair was moving, I completely agree with you. Jamal's in the building, says, keep up the good work, Haize. I'm here late, so you might have already addressed this. But what did we see the lineup that had 0 minutes together before today? Carter and Craig with the mid three, or maybe the big three since we won. No, we still have not seen minutes of that team together. So I agree. Craig was brought in for his defense rebounding. He's actually doing what P. Will is supposed to be doing, minus the scoring. Yep, completely agree with you on that one. While I like the energy of Craig and P. Will, they combined for like 1 of 10 and 3 for 15 in the last game. Got to be more. No, we don't. We don't need more efficiently from the power forward position. Keep in mind the power forward. Let's just look at the power. I just want to break this down for people who keep saying we need more scoring from the power forward position. In the starting lineup, you got DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic, Kobe White, and Zach LaVine. The power forward position is the fourth option on offense. Then when you look at the bench unit, you got Ayo Dosunmu, Javon Carter, Andre Drummond, Alex Caruso when he's healthy. The power forward is still, guess what? The fifth option on offense. No, you don't need more than that. Like, you do want them to shoot the ball better. Do not get me wrong on that. But what they are out there to do, defend, rebound, play with energy. We need more of that from P. Will. But no, you don't need a ton of scoring from the power forward position with the way that this team uses it right now. You just don't. We may see a starting five of Ayo, Kobe, Zach, Craig, and Vooch soon. They're not going to do that. You're not going to move Zach LaVine to the 3. You're not going to do that. That's not permanently. In some lineups, yeah, but no, you're not going to see that starting lineup. Yeah, I agree. It's all in the gum for Billy. That is hilarious. That's hilarious, actually. The bench mob would beat today's starters. Listen, that bench mob was ridiculous. It honestly was unfair. It was really unfair that we brought that type of unit off the bench that could perform at the level that they did. It's really unfair. It's a rarity in the NBA, man. Rarity. 100% well-spoken, my brother. Yeah, I think people look so much at scoring. Everybody scoring. And it's like, you got to understand what they're out there with, right? And don't get me wrong. I would like to see more scoring from P. Will off the bench. Absolutely. But it's not necessarily the role. But we do want them to hit the open shots better, right? Yeah, you can say that. Did this motherfucker just say the bench is better than the bench mob? The bench mob back in the day that nobody wanted to face. Watson, Brewer, just to name a few. Yeah, and then don't forget Taj Gibson was on that bench mob. Amir Sheik, that 1 year, that year and a half coming off the bench, like, was dangerous. Like, that bench mob was different. Watson coming off the bench, like Kyle Korver was on that bench. People forget that. Like that was a difficult bench to get over, man. Bulls bench be taking off. Listen, this Bulls bench, and that's the thing, not to compare them to the bench mob of old, but like this Bulls bench is like they push the pace, they set the tone defensively so often, they bring that energy. It's really good, really good. YNG Sports says, man, I miss those Bulls even before the Ben Gordon and Kirk era. Yeah, man. The Ben Cork Luau Dang era before Andre Snow Shione era before Derrick Rose came here. That was a fun era as well. Fun era. People forget Dang played the whole game and was on the bench mob too. Dang wasn't on the bench mob. Dang started on that team. What are you talking about? The OG bench mob was the prime example of starring in your role. Absolutely. Absolutely. Really, Amir, shaking my head, watching all this. No, you got to watch. Like the fact that you even asked, say their names, tells me you didn't watch them play. You're just going off the name. The way that unit played together, no, you can't. There's no debate for that. There's no debate. The Bulls bench mob consisted of C.J. Watson, Kyle Korver, Ronnie Brewer, Taj Gibson, Amir Sheik. Dangerous bench unit. That bench unit has such great balance. It was crazy, man. Crazy. Would like to see more pick and roll. By the way, Vooch and Kobe back to Malone Stockton days if successful. That's no, it's not nowhere near Malone Stockton. But well, like I've talked about this on a video before. One of the things hurting Kobe White's scoring production is him and DeMar just don't play well on the court together. They just don't. The data's there, backs it up. They just don't. Hopefully, we see a change to that as Kobe keeps growing in this role. But yeah. Dang was the ultimate glue guy. I wish we kept him in Rose. Jimmy plus no. I feel they would have won a ring. We just was a little tune up or a piece away. Well, keep in mind, we almost killed Luau Dang. And at that point, after he left the Bulls, he was never an impact player again. So had we kept him, it wouldn't have done much. But as far as Jimmy, Noah, Rose, I mean, it's just Rose's injury really just it hurt that so much. Samuel says, no, I don't think that bench mob was better. Then you didn't see it play. Like, you're just going off the names. That's why you can't try to debate something that you didn't actually watch. Because that people that actually saw that bench unit, they know it's no debate for that. No debate. Can someone explain to me how good Connor Bedard is, kid in NBA terms? Derrick Rose. There you go. Boom. It wasn't that hard. It wasn't that hard. Something I like to see more is Billy running that pick and pop with Drum and JC. I mean, we may see it, especially as they start getting into their rhythm, things like that. We may start seeing that. P. Will should be getting to the foul line 3 to 5 times a night, but his lack of aggression hurts him. Definitely agree with that on that one. Drummond does too much as a starter, but he really might be the best center off the bench this season. Wouldn't be surprised with that one. Wouldn't be surprised with that. Remember when Nate stepped in and was electric? I always wondered why they didn't give him more. Why we didn't give him more of shit? More of shit? Shot. Well, keep in mind. So people forget the season after Nate Robinson went off, he tore his ACL that offseason. He signed with the Denver Nuggets. I don't know if he ever even played with that team, but he tore his ACL, so that's why. I think Kurt Thomas was already gone by then. Kurt Thomas was on the team still when Tyrus Thomas was on the team, but I think Kurt Thomas was gone by the bench mob days. Now, we did eventually bring in Brad Miller. No, Brad Miller was right before that bench mob too. I think. The only reason, no, it has nothing to do with coaching. They're just not as good. They're just not as good. They don't fit as seamlessly together. That bench mob literally covered all each other's flaws, were covered by the player next to them. And so, like somebody said, it was the sum of the parts. You would never be able to understand by trying to look at the names. You got to go back and watch that era of the Chicago Bulls. That bench mob was different. Different. No, you know what? I don't, is the lack of aggression. He's being over aggressive. Reason why he can't get his shot off. Why not just use words? Why are we using emojis, Edwin? Why using emojis, bro? To find the right rhythm. But yeah. Outside of physical strengthening, does Phillips really need to go to the G League? I would say to get reps, right? Because he's not playing much on this team. Now, if he was even playing 8 minutes a game on this team, I would say no. But to get some reps in, I would say probably look at it. Probably look at it. No, that was the year before, I believe. Let's see when Kurt Thomas was on the team. Give me 1 second. Let's see. I don't think Kurt Thomas was part of the bench mob. So Kurt Thomas was on the Chicago Bulls team. No, you're right. 2010 to 2011. I thought he was on the team before then. All right, cool. There you go. You were right, Shay. The bench mob knew the Kyle Korver was terrible on defense, so they covered him down on him with Ronnie Brewer and Taj Gibson. Yep, and did it amazingly. Like Taj Gibson should have been a starter way before. But all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get ready to wrap up the stream. Got to get ready to go do Locked on Bulls. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button on your way out. Keep in mind, we're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers. If you think you're subscribed, go and double check as well. Even if you're a YouTube watcher, go and search Chicago Bulls Central on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, depending on where you have. Leave a 5-star review for the podcast there. It helps the podcast grow, even if you just watch on the YouTube side. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys are following the show at Bulls Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullscentralpod@gmail.com. And then lastly, if you're leaving a text message and our voicemail, or you can't leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, 773-270-2799. We are the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. Thanks to you guys. And like we like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. See red if you can, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.
I see red.